So we got the Chevy out of the shop for now, waiting on that engine rebuild. And I've waited long enough. I can't take it any longer, so we've got the Dakota in here. And we are ready to get started on this guy. Gonna get this 360 V8 pulled out. And we're actually gonna take a lot of this stuff out. I want to get rid of the plastic the plastic radiator. It was already broke. I really dislike plastic radiators, so being we've got the room and we're going to be moving, the engine's going to be even moving it forward 3 or 4 inches with the rear axle and the cross member. We're still going to have plenty of room. I'm going to try and squeeze a radiator out of a 7.3, like a early 90s 7.3 Power Stroke in here, and then we'll see. I don't know if the Power Stroke intercooler will fit, or maybe if we can even get a Cummins intercooler or something, but we're going to try and really just maximize how much cooling capacity we can get in this thing, being I've got the room. And now that I've seen how much cooler that Chevy can run with the bigger setups, that's definitely one I want to go with for this guy, because it is going to be pretty much with a couple of people in it and just the way it sits. I'm pretty sure it's going to be towing close to 6,000 pounds just moving down the road on a given day. So we're going to go ahead and just get started on this, but with that goal in mind, we're going to try to keep it as cool as we can. So we'll see how that all works out. But first things first, we got to tear out the old. Well, that's the last time we're going to see this guy. Say farewell to the 5.9 360 Magnum Dodge engine. Well, with the engine out, I am super excited to just see what we got to work with in here. Obviously that's the 46 RE tranny still. Got to pull that out, but the I measured it, and I'm pretty sure the AW4 is the same length, so I'm pretty excited about how far out you can see. It's kind of hard to see, but it's probably sitting 2 inches in front of the firewall already, instead of usually behind the firewall and everything else I've swapped. And with the 2-inch adapter plate to the TDI, that's going to put it way out already. But I actually am going to be moving the back axle forward about 1.5 inches, because they didn't center it whenever they did the 1-ton swap, and so I'm probably going to go 2 full inches forward with the tranny already. So that is going to literally almost center this TDI in the engine bay. Which is going to be pretty sweet. That being said, I don't think the motor mounts are going to work. We'll see. I'll get it mocked up in there, but I think they're going to be too far back actually for once. Usually they're way out in front, but these mounts are going to be just not quite right with it. With the tranny, or I should say the engine, almost 5 inches forward from where the tranny's sitting right now. So yeah, but obviously there's a ton of room in here to work. And now that I've got it out, I did some measuring, and unfortunately a Power Stroke intercooler out of like the early 90s will not quite fit. I could do some work to try to get it in there, but I found one a little bigger than what I used in the Chevy, and being that we're having some pretty sweet intake air temps with the Chevy, I think we will be just fine using one that's just a little bigger than that. And I left all the AC stuff hooked up here. We're going to try to get this mocked up. I am going to put this behind the intercooler. We'll put the intercooler clear out in front just for maximum cooling there. And then we'll have a tranny cooler and the AC. And then we are going to be able to fit the 90s Power Stroke radiator in. It pretty much touches the frame rail on either side, but we'll get it in there, and that should just be sweet for keeping this thing cool. So anyway, a few other things where the sensors and stuff are almost identical to my Jeep, so I am hoping that I can mimic all the signals just like I did to get the tach working on the Jeep. We'll see. I don't know if they changed anything, but it's an '01, so it's the same era as the Jeep as far as Chrysler computer technology. So anyway, we'll see how that goes. And yeah, just gonna focus on getting the tranny in there and move forward to start with, and then we'll go from there. I don't know how long that's gonna take me, but anyway, another cool thing, I'm pretty surprised at this, but I am now 4 for 4 on the factory high pressure line for my swap vehicle, screwing right into the VW power steering pump. So we do not have to modify anything for that. So that is pretty exciting. That's going to make stuff super easy. And there's just so much room in here to work with everything. The other thing I was going to say is the heater core is clear over here. Usually they've all been on either over the top or clear over on the left side. So that should be interesting, nice and convenient for the heater core lines. So we should be able to get this thing looking pretty clean. Just got to button up all this wiring left over from the 360, but yeah, so pretty excited to get started on this thing. So stay tuned. Our 1-ton Dodge Dakota.